wasn't easy, especially my other one didn't make it, but took extra care of it today. So on this singular white piece of paper exposure, I think you all have it clear to you. This is the current case breakdown that we have. There's a total of 1,583 criminal cases that are open. Pretty pleased with that. I believe in 2019 we were more in accordance with the backlog and the cases that were being filed, well over 3,000, pushing 4,000. So we're opening as many as ever before closing, and we're getting the backlog cleaned up. So I'm pretty happy with that. We've got 6 total criminal attorneys. I lead with 484 cases, and if you look at parentheses there's 355 of those that are felonies. Mr. Kokathakis has 337 cases, 322 of those are felonies. And then my chief deputy has 240 cases, 228 of those are felonies. And Mr. Garrett has 213 cases, with 179 of those are felonies. And then my 2 baby prosecutors that we're training, they have 178 misdemeanors for Mr. Grant and 131 misdemeanors for Ms. Cummins. However, she does do the juveniles as well, and also takes care of all our problem-solving courts and Superior Court too. So there's 2 of those, the vet court and the drug court, and then also the truancy program at the school. So a lot of additional activity with that. That doesn't include any of the infractions, the juvenile case numbers, child support, which there's roughly 1,600 cases right now, those expungement, post-conviction relief. Second thing is I have some trials that are coming up. One here in about 2.5 weeks. It's a trial that involves an out-of-area firm or attorneys, private pay, not public defenders. It involves 5 underage children. I don't want to get into it too much, but there is going to have to be an expert witness hired by the state. The people that have been here before 2019, 2020, Judge Klein, then Chief Deputy, had asked that we create a line for major crime units. And it was turned down in 19, turned down in 20. I brought it up in 2021, and last year I didn't even bring it up. If we would ever get a murder case where we were going after life or the death penalty, or a higher level case that was going to require a lot of expert witnesses. We have currently a trial expense budget, trial prep that's like $6,000. The problem we get into with that is when we get into experts, your experts start around $5,000 to $10,000 depending on what you get into. I know for a fact that the case that's coming up here in 2.5 weeks, I had to hire an expert on that. Their pay is $350 an hour. I don't know what the bill's going to be. It's probably, I would guess, around $7,000. And it's paramount to the case that we have that to be able to challenge the defense in that case. Additionally, we have recently filed charges in a murder case. I don't know if I'm going to need anything. I'm anticipating that I'm probably going to have to go down the path of experts, but I can't tell you that as I'm standing up here just because it's too early in the case. So I just wanted to make council aware that here within probably the next meeting I'll be asking for some funding, because I just don't know where I'm going to get that chunk of funding at since it's well over what I have preserved back. And then finally, you have the Public Defenders Council that you guys know about in Indianapolis, and then we have the Indiana Prosecuting Attorneys Council that's out of Indianapolis. And I just wanted to share some data and explain the differences of how it's not as bad as it looks on paper just because our case files have been reduced. But the Indiana Prosecuting Attorneys Council will first come up with this data for attorneys based off of 2019 filings. Now, in 2019, we had just shy of 2,000 new criminal cases that were filed. Last year, I boasted on the fact that we got that down to just under 1,200 on that, so we had a reduction of 43% recidivism in crime. I anticipate that will go back up. We've got a new sheriff in town that's got a lot of activity. We've already seen it just in the first few weeks. So we have quite a few deputies now that weren't producing the activity that they are producing now, so I anticipate our case filings will go up. If you look on the blue sticky note page there, it's page 14 of 26. What this report does is it goes through all 91 counties, or 91 prosecutors and their case filings, and they compare that and overlap it with the Public Defender Council's recommendation for caseloads. So I refer you to that, to also refer you to the other 3 pages that we have here that break down the Allen County Prosecutor's Office. There's a graph, and then there's the email that explains how they compare and contrast with how they're coming up with their numbers. So if you flip back to the page that's earmarked in blue, the second one down here is Lawrence County. And mind you, this is off the 2019 numbers. There was a little bit of an error in their calculation because it stated that we had 8 prosecutors, and we've never had 8 prosecutors. So they're saying that we were at 71% capacity at 8 prosecutors of what the public defender standards would be. That they did a recommendation of 11.27 to match that, and then they did another 24% increase to match what the judges do for the work that is different between the prosecutors and the public defender's office. By no means am I telling you that I want to hire another attorney, more or less have 13.5 attorneys in my office, but this is a bill that they're working on to basically make the prosecuting attorney's council just like the public defender's council. So I wanted to make you guys aware of that. I do anticipate if the cases go up, I would not be asking to hire another attorney because I don't think I could find another attorney in Lawrence County to save my life. I've had a job posting up now for 3 months and I had a single person in the state apply for it. But I do think that we're going to get to the point to make sure that we're staying up on discovery, that we either have a non-law enforcement investigator or some kind of secretary that can go through videos and other items that we get to discover, make sure that we're getting them out to everybody and not getting ourselves crossed with the judicial system by not turning over evidence in a timely manner. And then finally, if you look at the second sheet here, turn to the first page, and the third bullet point down says current environment. It states that there are 208 paid prosecutors, 91 of those being elected, 91 of those being chief deputies, and then there's 26 that are state funded. If you have a prison or mental health facility within your county, that during the 2020 year, there was a total of 683 full-time prosecutors throughout the state of Indiana, and that there needed to be an additional 440 if they implement those public defender standards onto the prosecution side of it. So don't know where that's at, but you have the information and it pops up and you're educated on it. That's all I have. Thank you.